Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host, and I'm welcoming you to my review of Evolution from 2001. We are now heading back to DreamWorks with Evolution. Hang in there. So, we're returning back to DreamWorks with Evolution. So, this movie stars David Duchovny, Orlando Jones, Seann William Scott, Julianne Moore, alongside Ted Levine, directed by the great Ivan Reitman, the man who'd once directed Ghostbusters. This movie is actually also co-made by Columbia Pictures, but no Columbia logo present in the movie. So, yes, Evolution. Before I go into the review, I kind of want to talk about some behind-the-scenes tidbits of this movie. When Ivan Reitman came up with the script, he actually, I believe, did he write this movie? No, it was actually written by Don Jacobi? Jacobi. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. So, he wanted to make his version of Ghostbusters by doing sort of a spiritual successor to that, or more or less a spin-off film to Ghostbusters. Hang in there. To Ghostbusters. So, basically, that's really what Evolution is. So, it has a very Ghostbusters feel. Basically, this is all about, it focuses on these people. They're like paranormal, they're like alien investigators. So this deals with artificial intelligence. In Ghostbusters, it dealt with, obviously, ghosts. This one deals with artificial intelligence, AI. I believe, no. It deals, artificial intelligence. So what did I think of Evolution? Pretty good movie. And I'm going to admit, I loved Evolution. Let's talk about Evolution. So, Evolution, I'm trying to see how I can word this. So, let me read the plot here. Make a discovery of alien life forms that could change the world. But, when the aliens try to take over the planet, our four shelter heroes rockets into action to save us. The laughter hits you at the speed of light. In the comedy about heavy bullets, mutual attractions, and close encounters. And yeah, that's really what Evolution is. I loved Evolution. I think the standout in this movie is Seann William Scott. He's actually a firefighter. Well, the film starts out with, I forget David Duchovny's character. I think it's Ivan something. I'm probably going to get that wrong, and I forget half the characters' names. But anyways, Duchovny and Jones, they're both college professors. So Duchovny was once a colonel in the army, now a college professor. Orlando Jones is a coach of a women's volleyball team who is also a professor there. Also, Julianne Moore plays a woman who helps the investigation. Seann William Scott is a rookie firefighter. This also has Evan Suplee and Michael Ray Bauer, Donkey Lips from Salute Your Shorts, which I was like, he's in this? That's pretty cool. So Suplee and Bauer, they play brothers. They're also students at the college that meet up with Duchovny. And they team up with him, and it's crazy. The only Ghostbuster alumni that returns in this movie, is Dan Aykroyd. He plays the governor. Ted Levine, I think it's Levine, who was in a movie called Silence of the Lambs, appears as another sergeant. We get Ty Burrell before Modern Family. He's another army soldier, not really a soldier, but another sergeant, I do believe. So it goes all nuts. The visual effects are pretty good. Like I said, has that Ghostbusters feel, and the characters are just so much fun. Like, there's a scene where the three guys, they're in the mall. So they grab themselves some firearms, and now they're in the mall trying to get this sort of dragon. So that's one scene. We get another scene before that where they're at a party and you meet this little creature in the movie. This crazy, like, creature I hope I can show it. Maybe I'll show a photo of it, but that creature right there. We'll get this thing right here, who basically just eats the woman's fingers. As soon as the woman goes in the drawer and grabs a weapon, the creature eventually does die. But eventually, it plays out, and each character has its motivation. Like there's a scene where they're basically they multiply, so they multiply each time. So now, what is the ultimate weapon to get rid of these bugs? Head and Shoulders. So they use a supply of Head and Shoulders to try to stop the mutant bugs, and it is just bonkers. The movie has some really good special effects. I think the standout, as I said, is Seann William Scott. There's a scene where this dragon, I do believe it's a dragon, they're flying, the dragon's flying, and he's belting out, "You are so beautiful," and it's just, he's just singing the ballad, and it's just insane. So it's really, really, really solid, and I like Evolution for the most part. I think the standout in this, as I said, is Seann William Scott and Julianne Moore. They are the ultimate standout in this movie. And they're just a ton of fun. The whole movie is a blast. It's not a perfect movie. I feel some of the visual effects can get a little bit tiring, and some of them look a bit too out of date. But when it works, it works. I think some of the special effects works. I think Ivan Reitman did an incredible job. This is my third Ivan Reitman movie I covered on the channel. The last movie I covered on the channel was Legal Eagles with the late Robert Redford. R.I.P. Robert Redford. And it's just a ton of fun. The movie is really good. Would I say this is a masterpiece? Of course not. But as a fun, modern-day creature feature film, it has, like I said, it has that sort of feel that Ghostbusters does, and even a little bit of Tremors, or Trimmers, as I would always call it. So it would have that sort of feel to it, though, and I liked Evolution. I think the cast is just a ton of fun to watch. And as a good summer creature feature, and since it was a spooky season, I thought, let's just add a modern day creature feature. Also, noted before I go ahead and give you the rating, Michael J. Fox was actually announced to be in this movie, but due to Parkinson's, he dropped out of the project. Eventually, Fox would land a voice role in Atlantis: The Lost Empire, which also came out the same year Evolution did. In fact, it might have been open in theaters with Atlantis. So you might as me vary. I think the movie's fun. I think for a cast like that, I think it's a really good movie. It's great to see Dan Aykroyd. That's like, I covered his cameo in Ghostbusters, and now I'm covering another Dan Aykroyd movie. And I covered Sergeant Bilko previously, a couple months ago. He was in that. So, I don't really have much to say. I'm saying, like I said, the visual effects can be a bit tiring, but it's a ton of fun. Oh, I would like to mention, the DVD, this was kind of a typo, but on the DVD it says, "A conversation with Ivan Reitman, David Duchovny, Orlando Jones, and Seann William Scott." That is false. That is actually an audio commentary to the movie. It's not a conversation. I thought it was a featurette, but it's not. It's just the commentary. So, I think this is a ton of fun. I don't have much to say about this movie, but as a good summer film, this did come out in the summer. I believe it's July 2001, if I could be wrong. Oh, I forgot to mention Pat Kilber? I haven't pronounced that right. From Mad TV appears in this. He plays a cop. Sarah Silverman has a small role in the movie. Richard Mall plays the fire instructor, has a small role. So, this is just a fun movie. I think it's interesting how the characters, we see some of them get glop and goo. So similar to how Ghostbusters 2 with the slime. So again, it has elements of those two movies, but does it differently. So I'm not going to try to make this video that long. So like I said, Julie Moore, Sean William Scott, in my opinion, they are the standouts. As I said, guys, it's just a ton of fun. So at the end of the day, I had a blast with Evolution. I had a great time watching this movie. This is not a perfect movie, guys. I'm just saying this is just, I had a great time with this movie. And just, if you like Ghostbusters and you want to see something that's a successor to this, also they actually made a animated series for Fox Kids. I think it's called Artifacts Evolution Continues. Though I like the smiley face with the three eyes. That's nowhere in the movie until the very end of the movie. But yeah, I did like the scene where eventually Sean William Scott's character saves the woman. She says, "I will never ever shoplift again," and it's a hoot though. This cast is just great. Ivan Reitman yet again knocked out of the park. Is this my favorite Ivan Reitman movie I covered on the channel? I still would say Kindergarten Cop's my favorite, but this is probably a dead second. If I were to do a top 3 Ivan Reitman movies I covered on the channel, it would be Kindergarten Cop, Evolution, and then Legal Eagles. So, that's it. I don't have much to say. So, let's go ahead and rate this now, guys. I'm going to give Evolution a 4 out of 5. I had a great time with this movie. It's definitely fun. I think the cast is great. Orlando Jones is fun. This cast is just a blast. And it seemed like they had so much fun. And Ivan Reitman's director, he had a great time making this movie. He even literally said that this was his best movie he ever worked on. So, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Go check out Evolution. If you, like I said, if you like creature feature films, definitely give this one a watch, and you're definitely going to have a great time. It's good that I covered another DreamWorks movie for the channel, because I now knocked this off the list of movies I have to watch. So, definitely, Evolution is definitely a good time and a fun time to watch. So that's my review of Evolution. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content on the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get all my video notifications so you don't miss a single video on the channel. I'm also on Letterboxd, guys, so you can check me out on there. On Letterboxd, I rate the movies before I review them, and tons of other content on the Hit UV channel. So, yeah, check out Evolution. Really, just a very fun movie is what I should say. So, yeah, that's it, guys. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.